Hello, this is Carol Dianca, and I am a board-certified nutritionist. I've had so many people ask me, what does a nutritionist do? Or what is the things that you do every day? What is the life of a nutritionist on a daily basis? Well, I can tell you what the life of a nutrition is from my perspective and the things that I do, and that's what I'll be sharing with you today. I don't know if it's the same for every nutritionist, but I do know there's a lot of confusion because if you say you're a nutritionist, that could mean many things. There are people that can actually call themselves nutritionists without any special training at all. If you say that you're a registered dietitian, people assume that you are working in a hospital and they tend to think they know what you do. So I would like to share with you my journey as a board-certified nutritionist, which I absolutely love. And I will tell you that from the very beginning, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to reach out to the public. Now, there's many ways that you can go with a career this way, but I wanted to have my voice be heard. I wanted people to, I wanted to raise awareness so that I could inspire change. I was so anxious to go out and mingle with the public. So what I started doing right from the beginning was just doing some public speaking, and I went everywhere that I could possibly get in the door. And this is one of my presentations I did early on at our public library here in the town where I live. I've had all kinds of experiences as a public speaker. This is one that I did at a large outdoor fair. And I'm always talking about plant-based nutrition and removing processed food from the diet. So this was a fun one. The weather held out well, and I was able to get the message across. I have given presentations at local restaurants, and this is a restaurant that was in the area where I live. It was Purple Sprouts, a vegan restaurant where people came to listen about the benefits of plant-based nutrition. And then, of course, yoga studios, any kind of wellness center. This was at a yoga studio in the town that I live. And there were, maybe 20, 30 people, very interested, very engaged. I really enjoy getting out and meeting people and hearing their questions and trying to help them with some kind of sustainable change, not just the latest trend, but a sustainable change. Libraries are also another place where nutritionists can give talks. And this was one I did for the National Vegetarian Museum at our local library. Schools are another place where nutritionists give talks about nutrition. And this is a school in Providence, Rhode Island. It's Nathaniel Green Middle School. And I did 5 presentations that day, each with 50 students at a time, all girls, to talk to them about good nutrition and what it means for their life. And we talked about the school lunch program, eating breakfast, how that affects their performance. And then this is just one recently again. I think it was National Vegetarian Museum. So anywhere that a nutritionist wants to go or can go, there's always people that are willing to sponsor you for presentations. Another medium, of course, is radio and TV. And so radio interviews are also very good to reach a broader audience. And this is one that I can't even remember the name of the station now, but it was one where people could call in and ask their questions. It's all never real easy to be behind a microphone. Sometimes it can be almost more stressful than being in front of people. So I wanted to just let you know that that's available as well, and that's what one of the things that I've done. Actually, I enjoy speaking to large crowds, and I remember telling a friend not too long ago that if I had it to do all over again, I would be a public health nutritionist. I would have started there from the beginning. But actually, 10 or 20 years ago, public health nutritionists were not really widely known or used. We have a real awareness today of nutrition and public health, how it affects us, even most recently with COVID. But this is one that I did early on at a university, at a college. Actually, it was Oakton Community College, and we had a group of about 250 people there and guest speakers. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn and Dr. Stephen DeVries came and talked about heart health. It was really a great experience. This is one of my early ones, but I think my background had me all set for doing large corporate events. Then we moved on. I moved on to working with Gaples Institute. That's another nonprofit that educates physicians on nutrition. And this is the start of one of the classes that we had as I worked with Dr. Stephen DeVries. I also did this kind of work at United Health System with Dr. Kevin Fullen, another cardiologist, helping to teach patients about good nutrition and keeping their heart healthy. This was one where I was teaching physicians. And this was at the end of the class, where they actually went and did hands-on and made their own lunch. And it was all very nutritious, plant-based cooking. So speaking of cooking classes, I also developed cooking classes at my home initially, and it was on Saturday mornings, 2 Saturday mornings a month in the spring, summer, and fall. And it is the Academy for Delicious Plant-Based Cooking. As you can see, these are some of the flyers. And I had students come to my home, and we would cook outside in my outside kitchen, as you can see in that flyer on the left. And we would cook inside as well. And then we would have lovely dinners outside on my piazza outside the house. So this seems almost even strange talking about it since we've just come through COVID and we're still in the pandemic. But, I would pack the house with people. We would be so happy cooking together at my kitchen counter and sharing a meal. It was wonderful. It's something that I miss, but I have transitioned, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. This is another one of the flyers that True Health Begins in the Kitchen. It was a series of classes that would help people to, lose weight, lower their cholesterol, whatever their goals were with nutrition. And then here's a nice shot of our outdoor kitchen and the indoor kitchen. And the very first book that I published, which was Food Not Meds. It's since out of print now, but it was a good one. And this is just a shot of the cooking board and someone with their hands on slicing up peppers. And here's another one with just a variety of vegetables. And we would follow the recipes as they have in their hand, cook them up, and then we would enjoy ourselves outside. This is a picture of one class outside by my dining room table out there. Such lovely times. And another one where people just loved hands-on cooking. And another class. Moving on, I did some work for a hospital system last year where we did a series of cooking workshops, one on high blood pressure, one on diabetes, one on heart disease. And we started out doing them live, and then we ended them virtually. But you can see the setup there. And here we have a shot of one of the classes. So what I have done now, because we can't do this type of thing right now, and actually I found out that by doing this type of cooking lessons, and by doing them virtually, might not seem as intimate, and obviously it isn't, but the outreach is so much greater. So I've started my True Health Begins in the Kitchen series online with my online courses, and have just launched them a couple of months ago, and they're doing quite well. I have 2 courses that are available. One is on Mediterranean-inspired plant-based cooking classes, and by that I mean that they aren't the type of plant-based cooking that is repetitive or lacks variety. This is inspired by the Mediterranean, and then by the Mediterranean diet, Mediterranean style of cooking, which is really my background. And then the other one is about understanding olive oil, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Most people do not realize what they're buying when they're buying olive oil, and there is a range of quality. So this little class really is great. I think it's 7 or 8 lectures, and it's a great education so that listeners and viewers and students can make informed decisions for their health about olive oil. One of the things that I did with all of my classes was that I wrote a book. I took all the recipes that I had that developed for the classes and published my Real Food for Healthy People. And I'm almost embarrassed to just go on to talk about what I do and what I did and what I continue to do, but any nutritionist can do this, any RD, anyone that has the interest and the energy for it. The sky is the limit. So this was my first book, and I went out and did book signing. And this is a book signing that actually took place at my church. And so the church that I go to, and it was very, very, very successful. Here's another photo of one that I brought the book along, and the book did become an Amazon bestseller in 3 categories: vegetarian, vegan, and plant-based. It covered all 3 categories, and it won an award. It won the Indie Reader Award and the Discovery Award. So very rewarding to take the work that I did with the cooking classes and turn it into something that many, many people can enjoy and learn from. Again, a greater outreach. And then just last year, published this one, Real Food for Infants and Toddlers. And this one was written in collaboration with a pediatrician, a cardiac pediatrician, and a friend that moved here from Italy that had shared all her recipes, not all of them, but some of her recipes for infants and toddlers, how to make them at home, how to get children started very early in life, like 8 months, to develop the flavors and the tastes of fruits and vegetables so that they will like it forever. And I shouldn't say forever, but for the duration of their life. And when you develop these tastes early, they can translate into just much better nutrition throughout life. Aside from, the cooking and the cooking classes and the public speaking and the things that a nutritionist does or can do, another thing basic is research. And I've had patients and clients come to me with unique needs that surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, I didn't learn about in graduate school. So I had to go and do research for them so that the patient or the client would be able to follow some good guidelines. So I never provide nutrition counseling advice without doing research and making sure that what I am helping others with is backed with some good background. This is some research that I did with Dr. Gianni Leda, and he is one of the lead researchers in the Blue Zones. So I did travel to the Blue Zone of Sardinia. I had a week tour with a wonderful guide, another research scientist, Dr. Ivo Parisi, and spent a week learning about the Blue Zone and why people are living beyond 100 without chronic illness. I learned an awful lot. I was very, very fortunate to study with these people, with these scientists, and brought that information back for my clients. Of course, it's one-on-one nutrition counseling, and that's what you might think of first and foremost that a nutritionist does. That is something that I do. It's a part of my everyday work and what I do, but it is definitely not the only part. You may also be interested to know that there are nutritionists that travel and travel to other parts of the world and take people on a lifestyle immersion. And that's exactly what I started to do about 8 years ago, taking small groups to the south of Italy where the lifestyle promotes longevity, and then enjoying time with even bringing them to my family, staying on the Amalfi Coast and immersing ourselves into the lifestyle that promotes longevity. I look pretty tired here. This is as we were arriving on the very first day of the trip. After a long trip, as you can tell, I was reading the JAMA articles on the plane so that I could be up on my nutrition information. And we have a comfortable motor coach that takes us to the hotel and then on to the tours for the entire week. This is a wonderful experience. It has taken us to many beautiful places, especially the Amalfi Coast of Italy and Naples. That trip is covered with all of the details, and I have dual citizenship with the United States and Italy, so that's just another thing that I utilize when I bring people to Italy. I let them know about packing tips, weather, all the detail that they need to know. And we enjoy ourselves by visiting these beautiful places. On most of the trips, we even cook with the Neapolitan chefs, and we have dinners together at night. It's a wonderful experience. This is just a quick shot of one of the group dinners that I've had, and this is mixed with members of my family and the tour group. The tour group is usually not larger than 20 people. This year my group is 23 people, larger than usual, but I usually have a waiting list now for the trips. One of the things that I really have to humbly say that I have been fortunate that my work has been noticed, and I received the Women Who Changed the World Leadership Award in 2019, for my work in nutrition and helping people of all ages, styles, lifestyles, and then also the award, the Leonardo da Vinci Award from the Sons and Daughters of Italy for my contribution to nutrition. So these are the things that I do as a nutritionist. These are open to anyone that is a nutritionist that would like to develop these activities, and I'm sure there are others that people do that I'm not even aware of, but just wanted to pass that on. This is sort of my portfolio. When I was putting these slides together, I was actually getting tired thinking about the work that I've been doing over the last 12 years and the work that lies ahead, but it's a labor of love. I absolutely love what I do. I'm going to put some more description in the description below this video, and some links of things that you can go to discover even more about nutrition. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you along. Thank you.